What's the deal, man? Yes! Yeah! Hey, shout out to you for clicking on this episode of my podcast. Before I get to the episode, I would like to ask that if you're not already subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. It only takes a couple seconds. Hit the bell notification because it lets you know every single time I drop a new episode. Like this video, leave a comment, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Let's go! Yeah! Yeah! Today is Monday. I repeat, Monday, December 6th, 2021. My name is Michael DeLu. It's episode 81 of Pull Up the Tape. And I'm just really excited to be recording today's podcast. Haven't recorded in a week for so many different reasons. But nevertheless, I'm here. I'm ready to go. I'm here for warfare, all the bullshit. Let's get into it. Let's get into the takes. Let's get to the unbiased. Feel me? You know what it is. You know what it is when you tune in. I'm really excited, and let's just get right into it, all right? Had a really eventful weekend. I went to my very first NFL. Oh, I don't want to say I didn't go to my very first NFL game. I went to my very first Jacksonville Jaguar game. A lot of shit happened this weekend, but I'm going to get into all that shit, all right? So the first, and I feel like one of the biggest things that happened this weekend was actually yesterday in my hometown of Los Angeles, California, at Staples Center. Gervonta Tank Davis, the 27-year-old, undefeated, three-division world champion superstar boxer with 26 wins and no losses, no draws, also 24 KO victories, took on Isaac, the Bulldog Cruz, the Mexican superstar, with 22 wins. And as of right now, 2 losses, 15 of his wins coming by knockout. And I want to say it was a great fight. Tank won by unanimous decision despite breaking his left hand. And I'm not exactly sure when he broke his left hand. You can obviously tell that he was a little hobbled by it. When he was asked about it in the post-fight, he said that he broke it in the 6th round. But I mean, when a fighter wins a fight and he's visibly injured, obviously they're gonna say, "Oh, it probably happened before it actually happened." Because I didn't notice it until like the 10th rounds, but he said the 6th, so I guess we had to rock with that. I don't know if he's trying to look better for whatever or show that. I mean, he is a warrior and whatever, but usually stuff like this, when it happens, you'll see the fighter probably gassing it up more than what it is, and that's what I think. I'm not too sure if that's exactly what happened or how it happened, but hey. So to get into a fight, it was competitive, more competitive than I thought it would be. I didn't think Isaac Cruz was going to bring the fight to Tank the way he did. Isaac looked very effective with his style. He's a very aggressive boxer, and one of the things that I know this is probably one of my first times talking about boxing on this channel, but nevertheless, I want to become more active and talk about this shit more frequently because I do love the sport of boxing. Shout out to the Prince Joe. And yeah, so like I said, Isaac looked very effective with his style. He honestly smothered Tank from the jump. Like you can visibly tell that he came into the fight not respecting Tank at all. Not respecting who he is as a fighter, not expecting what he brings to the table, and literally want to get in there and mix it up with him all day, 24/7, is from the start of the fight to the end of the fight. And that's exactly what happened. He was very aggressive, left hooks, right hooks, shots to the body, uppercuts. And this is the one fight, I've seen Tank fight about 4 times live. And this by far was the toughest fight he's ever had. This by far was the fight where the fighter pushed him the most. And when I say push him the most, I just meant made him work for sure. Because every round that I watched from like the 6th round to the 12th. Every round I watched, Isaac Cruz was tagging him with some big shots. And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've always been impressed with Tank, but yesterday showed me that Tank actually has a chin and can take punches and can actually keep moving forward even when he gets hit. Because I'm not going to lie, Tank was getting hit with some, I don't want to call them heavy punches, but clean and precise punches that probably would drop other people. It's quite obvious that Tank is first of all, a warrior and has a chin because he was getting hit by some big shots. He never got dropped or anything like that, but they were big shots that, could have dropped other fighters and could have like really stung them or wobbled them or, dazed them or hurt them nevertheless. But like I said, Tank kept coming forward, kept doing what he does best. And, I definitely seen Tank, he didn't win with the same style of boxing that he usually wins with because, like I said, he hurt his hand. But nevertheless, like towards the end of the fight, you saw Tank, really ducking and dodging, moving, showing his head movement, being able to, slip in and out of punches. In some of the slow-mos in between rounds, I was seeing the slow-mos and the, Tank's defense where he was like dodging punches, ducking underneath punches. And it was just a little different for Tank, but nevertheless, it was really, really, a really, really good fight. And I personally want an immediate rematch because, like I said, this was the best fight this is the best fight that I've seen someone give Tank, and I think an immediate rematch would be perfect. I see a lot of people saying that Tank lost. I don't agree with that. I feel like Tank is suffering from what a lot of big name fighters suffer from in his situation, where if we're used to seeing you knock everyone out, knock niggas out, light them up. I'm gonna knock these niggas out. If that's what we're used to seeing from a fighter, if he goes the distance and doesn't knock someone out, they're gonna automatically say, "Oh, he's been exposed. X, Y, and Z. This fighter is his kryptonite. Oh, he's not like that, or X, Y, and Z, or he for sure didn't win this fight." Blah blah blah. When in actuality, that's not the case because, like I said, Tank was landing punches as well, making Isaac Cruz miss. He looked a little experienced towards the end of the fight. And it just showed that, Tank has the heart of a champion and, championship pedigree because when the chips fell where they fell, Tank was ready for war, came to battle, was the better fighter, was the more precise fighter, landed more punches, more clean punches, and he dodged most of Isaac Cruz's biggest punches. Isaac Cruz was landing, like I said, he did way better than anyone would have thought, but nevertheless, it was a great fight. He brought it to Tank, but I'm going to say this, Tank won the fight fair and square. It wasn't. I don't think it was. It was unanimous. I don't want to say. I don't think it was unanimous. It was unanimous, but I'm surprised the score wasn't a little bit closer. Nevertheless, and then a lot of firsts happened in this fight. Like this was one of the first fights where Tank didn't actually drop someone. Like Tank didn't drop Isaac Cruz. Like Isaac Cruz was getting hit with big punches, and none of them dropped him. And even from the first round to the sixth round, when Tank broke his hand, he didn't land any punches that dropped him or stunned him or just had him looking crazy like, oh, shit, God, these ain't what I get hit with. None of that happened. So, nevertheless, like I said, I'm going to keep repeating this and emphasizing this. I don't think it's fair for anyone to say the Tank lost or Isaac Cruz got robbed because blase. Nope, fuck all that. If you watch the fight, you understood what happened. There's sometimes where you get into fights, there's sometimes where you get into games where your style or the way you play your game isn't actually conducive to what the outcome, like, to getting a W. And in some cases you see that where a team with like a high-powered offense only is able to score 15 points or even 20 points, but their defense steps up to the table and does what needs to be done to capture the win. And in this situation, I feel like that's the exact same thing that happened yesterday. Tank is usually known for just beating the shit out of niggas, knocking niggas' lights out, hitting a shutdown button on niggas' faces, on niggas' brains. Unfortunately, that didn't happen yesterday, but nevertheless, he was still able to get the win because, as I said, his ring presence, his ring control, he was able to slip and dodge punches, dangerous punches actually at that, and he was able to land punches himself and, be more active, have more of a control of the ring, and just his presence was just, you could just tell that he was the older and the more experienced fighter. Nevertheless, like I said, I honestly want to give amazing props to Isaac Cruz. I don't think anyone, I don't think a lot of people, I don't want to say anyone, I don't think a lot of people expected the performance that he gave yesterday. And I love not big fighters, I love when fighters who aren't really as popular as who they're fighting take advantage of the opportunity they have. He's put himself into a new stratosphere with other fighters. You'll probably start seeing him fight more and more bigger names because of his performance against Gervonta. And yeah, honestly, it was overall a really good fight. One of the things I want to get into is the post match, because he was asked when I say he, I mean Gervonta was asked about some possible opponents in the future, and he said the interviewer asked him about Devin Haney, George Kambosos Jr., and Ryan Garcia. First of all, and I want to say this respectfully, y'all, please don't put Ryan Garcia's name against any elite fighter. Ryan Garcia has fought no fucking body. Nobody noteworthy. Ryan Garcia hasn't stepped in the ring with it. Like Ryan Garcia is being compared to fucking Jake Paul. Jake fucking Paul. Jake Paul wants to fight Ryan Garcia. No. When we talk about real niggas and niggas who be knocking shit out, please do not bring up Ryan Garcia's name. That shit gonna make me mad. Please don't bring up Ryan Garcia's name. Please do not bring up Ryan Garcia's name. I'm gonna keep saying this shit again. Because when I see stupid shit on TV, that shit generally gets me up. Like, I don't want to say gets me. That's wrong. That shit infuriates me and makes me want to smoke a blunt right after. You feel me? Like, when there's so many things on the face of this earth that make me mad and just make me want to. Yeah! And Ryan Garcia's name being put next to Gervonta Davis in a possible bout? No. I'm not here for none of that. On phone and none of that. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Okay? But he also was asked about Devin Haney and George Kambosos Jr. And I don't agree with what Tank said. I mean, maybe he's just being overly, what's the fucking word, confident or cocky, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But he called them niggas easy work. That's easy work. That's like that. I will clean these niggas on my bad day, which is kind of how I interpret it. And I want to say, slow down, Tank. You got a little too much dip on your chip. Bing bong. You got too much dip on your chip because David Haney is a monster. George Kambosos Jr. is also a monster, and them niggas will give you an amazing fight. So slow down. Slow down. Because I was talking to Joe yesterday, and I personally don't feel like Gervonta is going to finish off his career undefeated. I personally don't think so. But nevertheless, that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. I don't care whether you do. If you do, cool. If you don't, I don't give a fuck. But I want to get into my next topic because, man, it has been a really, really good, I wouldn't say good, great college football season. And yesterday morning on Sunday, the final rankings for the college football, the final rankings for the end of the season finally were released. And going into Sunday, there was like probably like 10 to 15 different. Going into Saturday, based on how all the championship games would have played out, there's probably like 10 to 15 different scenarios on how the top 10 or top 4 could have honestly played out. And how they finished and how they stacked up was Alabama being ranked number 1, Michigan being ranked number 2, Georgia fucking frauds being ranked number 3, and Cincinnati being ranked number 4. Like I said, 10 to 15 different scenarios on how ultimately this shit could have played out. But because Alabama beat Georgia, they're solidified as the number 1 seed. They're in. Michigan beat Iowa. They're in. Stomped Iowa. They're in. Cincy beat Houston. They're in. And that's going to present 2 really, really good matchups on December 31st, which I can't wait to see. And I'm going to get into each of the teams, and then I'm going to get into my last topic and then wrap this up. But Alabama beat the fuck out of Georgia in the SEC championship. And all this talk about Georgia's amazing defense, and they just honestly got thrashed by fucking Alabama. I don't even know what the fuck. Like, I was watching this game at my studio in the room right behind me. The room literally directly behind me. I'm watching this game in the studio, and when Georgia goes up 10-0, my man AD is cheering and he's excited. He's like, oh yeah. And I'm just watching this shit like, I've seen this shit from Georgia before. I've seen Georgia jump out to an early lead on the Tide. And what the fuck happened? They got steamrolled. They got fucking steamrolled. The same shit happened on fucking Saturday. What the fuck, Georgia? The same shit. Hey, this is This is what Georgia's all-time prolific defense did. They gave up the most passing yards in SEC championship game history. In the history of the SEC championship. That amazing defense that went the whole season only giving up 6 points per game, gave up 41 against the Tide. 41. Are you serious? 41 points? What? And they gave up the most passing yards in SEC championship history. The most passing, do you understand the words that are coming? The most passing yards in SEC championship history. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm watching, I'm not surprised that Georgia lost. It's the way they lost. This is supposed to be one of the best Georgia teams ever. And this is what you have to show. Oh no. Oh my, Kirby Smart is now 0-4 against Nick Saban. Nick Saban nigga, hold my dick. Nick Saban hold my dick, nigga. You can't fuck with me. Nick Saban, hold my dick. You cannot fuck with me, Kirby. Ridiculous. With that being said, although Alabama is the number 1 seed, this is definitely not anywhere near one of the best Bama teams we've ever seen. Definitely not even close. They lost to A&M this year. They struggled against LSU. They struggled against Auburn. They struggled against Florida. So they are beatable, but realistically, I don't see any of these teams beating them. I don't see Cincy beating them. I for sure don't see – I for sure – bro, I am so confident in the Tide against Georgia now that even if Georgia happens to be up 28-0, I'm like, you know what? Honestly, Georgia is going to find a way to lose this game. The Georgia Bulldogs, it must be a Georgia thing or something in that state. I don't know what with the Falcons, with the Bulldog, I don't know what the fuck it is that's in that water over there, but them niggas is just experts at choking. Experts at choking. Michigan started off the season unranked. And they finished off number 2 overall in the final rankings. They started off the season unfucking ranked. What? That's crazy. Start the season unranked. Last year they were 2-4. The year before that they were 9-4. Always seen as a team that can never get over the hump. Since John Harbaugh got there. Is it John or Jim? I'm not too sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, Jim. And this is the year they did. They finished off the year 12-1. I honestly, I don't give a fuck what happens. The fact that Michigan is in the playoffs, oh my God, Jim Harbaugh, you deserve the world. Finished off the year 12-1. Their only loss of the year was against Michigan State on the road and lost by 4 points. And again, they could have won if they didn't make certain mistakes down the stretch of the game. And man, they are playing their best football at this point in the season. The past month of the season, they've been turning up and waxing niggas. Look, put up 40 on. Beat Maryland by 40. Listen to this. Beat Maryland by 40. Beat Ohio State by 14. The first time they beat Ohio State in 10 years. The last time they beat Ohio State, I was in high school. The last time they beat Ohio, I was in high school. High school. 2011, I was in high school. That's the last time they beat Ohio State. And then they beat the fuck out of Iowa. And then on top of that, they won the Big Ten for the first time in 18 years. That sounds so crazy. Michigan hasn't won the Big Ten in 18 years. The last time they won the Big Ten was in 2003. This is an amazing season for the Wolverines. They beat Ohio State for the first time in 10 years. They won the Big Ten for the first time in 18 years, and they are the number 2 seed in the college football playoffs. And on top of all this, they start off the season unranked. And yeah, honestly, they've earned themselves a matchup against the Georgia Bulldogs. See how that turns out. And I just salute to the Michigan Wolverines. Salute to them. Cincinnati. Woo-hoo-hoo. Cincinnati went last year 91. And a lot of people, a lot of journalists, a lot of pundits, a lot of people from, College Game Day crew felt like, there's no way Cincinnati can repeat exactly what they did last year or even come close to what they did last year. And for all them niggas said, hold my dick on the dead homies, on phone them, hold my dick real quick. All they decided to do was go 13-0. Got some quality wins against Indiana team. Got a quality win against Indiana. Got a quality win against Notre Dame. Went 13-0. And shout out to the College Football Committee for putting them in to the playoff as the 4th seed because they honestly deserved it. They earned it. In the past 2 seasons, they have went 22-1. 22-1. So I want to give a big shout out and salute to them for being able to replicate the success and do what the fuck they did, man. And just shout out to them. And lastly, the Georgia Bulldogs. I want to be the first to say this. You niggas are fucking frauds. You are all fraudulent. All you niggas are Nigerian. Half you niggas is Igbo. Half you niggas is Yoruba. And probably two niggas is Hausa. You niggas are frauds. You niggas are scammers. You niggas are fraudulent. You fooled the fuck out of me. You fooled the fuck out of like 70% of the whole nation in thinking you were like that. When in actuality, you're not. You're not. I don't know what it is about the Crimson Tide, but they seem to debo you niggas every fucking time they play you. It doesn't even make any sense at this point. You got to play oh my God. I'm trying to understand exactly what the fuck, why it is that you guys can't seem to do they scare you? Does the Crimson Tide do they scare you? What's up? Holla at me. I need to know because what the fuck I saw on Saturday was just pitiful. If A&M can actually beat Alabama, Florida can push Alabama, LSU can put Auburn can push. Why the fuck can't you beat them? Why? Not even. Why can't this game be competitive? Georgia, oh my God, I should fry the fuck out of Georgia. Oh my mama, I should fry the fuck out of Georgia. But you know what? I'm gonna let them live. It is what it is. I don't give a fuck. I'm not from there. It is what it is. And the last thing I want to get into is the Chiefs versus the Broncos, the Sunday night football game yesterday. The Chiefs beat the Broncos 22-9, and I didn't even realize this shit until it was said yesterday, but the Chiefs now have 12 straight wins against the Broncos. And the last time the Chiefs lost to the Broncos was in the 2016 season when the Broncos still had Peyton Manning. They've strung off 12 straight wins against the fucking Broncos. The Chiefs have strung off 12 straight wins against the Broncos. And the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs, they had Peyton Manning as their quarterback. That was the very last time they beat. You know how long ago that fucking was? Peyton Manning retired in 2016. My brother graduated high school that year. That was such a fucking long time ago. Actually, that was actually a really good year in my life. But nevertheless, yesterday's game just showed, and I'm not even gonna get into the box score. I'm gonna just react to this shit. There's really not too much to talk about. I'm not really too impressed with some of the but the only reason why I'm talking about it is because it was a Sunday night game and it was two teams that actually have winning records. Because at this point in the season, there's a lot of good teams. There's teams that are going to playoffs, playing bad teams that aren't going fucking nowhere with their season. Their shit's damn near over. But I'm gonna just get into some of these points, and I gotta get up out of here because this shit's starting to get a little too long. I'm reaching the 25-minute mark, but nevertheless, this shit yesterday was a team who has been there, done that, versus a team who hasn't. And there were three plays that defined the game for me, and I'm gonna just list them off one by one. There was a play. It was the Broncos are driving down the Chiefs on the Chiefs. They're on the Chiefs side of the field in their territory. I think they're about to enter the goal line. It's 4th and 2. It's the 20th play of that drive, and the Broncos rookie running back turns to the sideline, looks confused, doesn't know what the fuck is about to get called, the play or whatever. And in my head, I'm like, you're playing against the Chiefs. It's 4th and 2. You have to come away with points. and somehow you're able to botch on the 20th play. How many times does it have a team run 20 plays on one drive in NFL history? And for your drive to end the way it did on that, like in that fashion, I'm looking at this shit like, huh? What the fuck? Secondly, Kansas City punts the ball on 4th and 8. The Broncos player is trying to field the punt. His fucking stupid ass teammate runs into him and causes him to muff the punt, and the Chiefs recover it. Okay, once again, that might be one like that I don't even understand how dumb that as someone who's watched football for 14 years of my life, the past 14 years, I fell in love with football in 2007. I watched football for 14 years. You know how fucking dumb that is? Like, when you honestly sit there and stare at it, like, watching this play happen, how the fuck do you run into your teammate as he's trying to field the ball and field a punt and then cause him to muff the punt for the other team to recover? The third and last play, which defines Teddy Bridgewater as a quarterback. This nigga Teddy Bridgewater throws an interception to Daniel Sorensen. For those of you who don't know, Daniel Sorensen might be one of the worst safeties in the NFL. Daniel Sorensen legitimately this season probably led up like 8 fucking 50-yard touchdown passes. Literally his fault. If you go to some of the Chiefs highlights in the first half of the season, all those long-ass touchdowns they're giving up were his fault. He throws an interception to one of the worst safeties in the NFL. He takes the ball and goes and takes it to the crib. That is so fucking Teddy Bridgewater. Oh my God. Those 3 plays literally summed up the Broncos for me. Like, the Broncos are fraudulent themselves. Yeah, they beat the Chargers. They beat the shit out of the Cowboys. They're fraudulent as well. I don't give a fuck. I can see right through the fake. I can see right through the phonies. Georgia, phony. Broncos, phony. It is. The Rams, phony. I'm going to say that. The Rams are phony as fuck too. Nevertheless, the Chiefs defense has drastically improved since the start of the season. But, yesterday the Chiefs defense I feel like the Chiefs defense did way too much in terms of like contributing to the team win. Where the fuck is why how does the Chiefs offense score 1 touchdown and then 3 field goals the rest of the game? Yeah, they had 22 points, but they got a pick 6 from the defense. I'm watching the Chiefs offense, and it's just like very, very concerning. Patrick Mahomes doesn't seem to be seeing the field very well. And their identity as a team for the past 3 seasons was, we are an offense that can score from anywhere on the field. Nobody can fuck with us. Nobody can stop us. We can put up 35 points a game. We can do whatever the fuck we want on offense. We're going to lead the league in passing yards. We're going to lead the league in points. We're going to lead the league in points per game. Patrick Mahomes is going to throw the most touchdowns none of that is happening at all this season. None of that shit is happening. And outside of the first drive of the game last night, they were abysmal on offense, like fucking trash. 2 times in the last 2 years, Patrick Mahomes threw under 200 yards. Those 2 times happened twice in the past 4 games. So there's obviously some sort of issue going on. Tyreek Hill is dropping passes. Brian Pringle is dropping passes. Travis Kelce only has 1 touchdown in the past 7 games. I know fantasy football owners are like, my nigga, what the fuck? Tyreek Hill's last 100-yard game was 9 games ago. 9 fucking weeks. And the biggest thing that I just can't get over the Chiefs is the fact that they couldn't capitalize on the Broncos' fucking mistakes. In the past couple of years, the Chiefs were the team where if you make mistakes against the Chiefs, the game will easily become 28-7. Like, it could be a 7-7 game. You get 2 turnovers. Oh, shit. It's fucking 21-7. Like, that's the type of shit. Like, everyone knew that when you play the Chiefs in the past 2 years, you cannot turn the ball over. You cannot make any critical mistakes because they will blow the fucking game wide open. They could already score at will. So when you give them extra possessions, they are going to make you pay. And they weren't able to do that yesterday. The muff punt they recovered by Brian was recovered by Brian Pingle. The one I said that the Broncos receiver ran into his teammate as he's trying to field the punt. You know what the Chiefs did with that possession? Mind you, they got the ball at the Broncos 16. They got the ball at the Broncos 16, so they already started off in the red zone. They got the ball at the Broncos 16. They got 8 yards and then had to settle for 3. Bro, I've seen the Chiefs get a turnover and then score on the next play. Score on the next play. They get a turnover. They recover the ball at the 16 on the Bronco side of the field at the 16-yard line in the red zone. And I've seen them score the next. These niggas get 8 yards and then settle for a field goal. Huh? The first interception by Juwan Thornhill. They got 2 yards and then proceeded to get a 3 and out. Like, it just doesn't. Those are the 2 turnovers. No. They got 3 turnovers. The muff punt, 2 interceptions. The muff punt got 8 yards. The first interception got 2 yards. The muff punt, 8 yards, 3 points. The first interception, 2 yards, had to punt it. The third interception, pick 6. It's the worst safety ever. And personally, they played too many close games against fringe playoff teams, and I just don't know if I could trust them in the playoffs. I don't know. This team is not the same team they once were. Not too sure how they're going to get back into it, but if they continue to play this brand of football, but nevertheless, it's not like the AFC is the strongest and the most sexiest conference either. I feel like this year's Super Bowl winner is going to come from the NFC, and it will not be the Los Angeles Chargers. That's on my mama. I could put bread on that. But with that being said, my name is Michael DeLue. This is episode 81 of Pull Up the Tape, and I feel like this is one of my better episodes. Man, I was talking my shit today. But I want to give a big, brief shout out to everybody who's been supporting me, everybody who's continuing to push me to keep going hard, keep doing what I'm doing, because I know I'm really good at what I do. And with that being said, long live Kobe, long live Gigi, long live Pop Smoke, whoa. And keep fucking with me, because I'm going to fuck with y'all back. Keep rocking with me, keep tapping in. My name is Michael DeLue. I'm out this hoe.